Quartz, 4th of April 2023, how China has been encroaching on Indian land like a salami slicing. Since China has been conducting such operations across all front lines, India has essentially been powerless to halt them. The only option is to launch an offensive against Chinese hegemony. Along the long-disputed boundary between the two countries, China has gradually crept into Indian territory for years. India's generally indifferent response to each effort has shown a denial state. The 2,100-mile line of actual control, LAC, which they share but has never been designated, is the primary reason for the tense relations between the Asian neighbors. Even in 1962, China and India engaged in a brief but intense war followed by an ill-fated ceasefire. After numerous rounds of military-level discussions, tensions are still present today. According to Michael Kugelman, director of the South Asia Institute at the nonprofit the Wilson Center in Washington, D.C., which focuses on global issues, China can push the boundaries due to its economic and conventional military supremacy over India. China has a long-standing habit of asserting its claims to territory that India deems to be its own with confidence. It has a variety of strategies at its disposal to carry out this policy, from publishing maps showing its conception of the boundary to conducting genuine military provocations, according to Kugelman. For a long time, China has utilized salami slicing to gain ground against India. Renaming localities in India. On April 2, China said that it would standardize the names of 11 locations in the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. It has referred to the state of northeastern India as the southern Tibetan region for many years. Mountains, rivers, and residential areas will all receive new names. China has announced the renaming of territory that belongs to India 3 times in the last 6 years. It published a list of 6 such locations in 2017 and another 15 in December 2021. An Indian statement made a day after the most recent declaration claimed that the renaming wouldn't change the reality of China's unlawful possession of Tibet. In response, China asserted its sovereignty over Arunachal Pradesh. Xiangnan, Arunachal Pradesh, is a region that belongs to China. The Chinese government's responsible authorities have standardized the names of several areas of Xiangnan by the pertinent provisions of the State Council's Administration of Geographical Names. In a press conference today, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson, lied, stated that this is within China's sovereign rights. Building villages inside India. In Arunachal Pradesh, China is said to have made a town with more than 101 dwellings in November 2020. Satellite pictures of the community were published by the TV news station NDTV. The report stated that the town was built within Indian territory about 4.5 kilometers from the de facto border. The Indian Army disputed this, but a member of parliament from the governing Bharatiya Janata Party expressed grave worries. They are building a road along the Lindsay River, which flows in the direction of the Subansiri River, Tapergaon, an Arunachal Pradesh representative, said NDTV in January 2021. If you follow the path along the river, China has traveled more than 60 to 70 kilometers inside the Upper Subansiri district in Arunachal Pradesh. If you follow the path along the river, China has traveled more than 60 to 70 kilometers inside the Upper Subansiri district in Arunachal Pradesh. The Indian government did not contest this. The television channel was informed that China had engaged in such infrastructure construction activity in the past several years. According to the statement, our government has also increased border infrastructure, including the building of roads, bridges, and other structures, which has given the local population along the border much-needed connectivity. Denying Indian troops the right to patrol, the two countries have been at odds over the right to patrol for a long time regarding troops stationed in border regions. For instance, The Hindu reported that Chinese troops had blocked 10 patrolling posts along the Lak in India's Ladakh in 2020. According to a different January report, India had lost access to 26 out of 65 patrolling locations in eastern Ladakh. In recent years, there have also been a growing number of violent altercations involving the troops. In one such incident in December 2020, at least 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers perished. Since Indian forces were allegedly attacked by Chinese troops in 1975, there have never been any casualties between the two sides. However, whether intentionally or not, the Indian Prime Minister has denied that anyone has entered Indian land. He added that nobody has trespassed, is trespassing, or has taken control of any posts. Is India's only option now a conflict with an invading China? According to Kugelman of the Wilson Center, India faces challenges when dealing with China because of its weak military might. This presents a problem for New Delhi. The Modi administration is very nationalistic and eager to warn its adversaries sternly. However, if its public language is harsh and uncompromising, it lacks credibility when it fails to, for instance, drive Chinese forces out of territory claimed by India, he added. But some people have different ideas. The political considerations at home are to fault, according to Ashok Swain, a professor in the Department of Peace and Conflict Study at Uppsala University in Sweden. Modi's strongman image is bolstered by a conflict with Pakistan, which is much smaller. Modi does not gain any advantage from a confrontation with China. Instead, there is a chance that the facade may be tarnished. According to him, Modi's image protection approach is aiding Xi in enhancing his image at the expense of Indian territory.